Examining scats can be educational because it can tell you something about the diet of the animal that left it. One thing that to note when you find a scat is the location where you found it. In this case, this scat was found on top of a deck that is used by people, and that particular behavior is typical of the gray fox. Gray foxes mark on objects in their environment that are raised above the level of the ground, and that can include anything from human-made structures like decks and kids' toys and garbage cans and things like that, to rocks, tufts of grass, or any other elevated thing in their environment like a log or a stump. So in this scat, I'm noticing there's some interesting contents, and analysis of the contents of the scat can help you to learn what the animal's diet was. So let's break this apart and see what this gray fox was eating. So I'm wearing gloves, of course, to do this. And if you're going to break apart scats, it's recommended to wear gloves. So these little things right here, these little round objects, those are parts of a millipede's body. You notice that they're falling apart into little ring segments, and that's what they are. They're little segments of the body of a millipede. They're called annuli, A-N-N-U-L-I. So here's some more of them in here. Let's see if this will break apart well enough that you can see those bits. So we know that this gray fox was eating millipedes because there's several pieces in here that came from millipedes. Notice the round rings. So that's one diet item. Here's a tube that came from the millipede. So we know that they eat those. This part of the scat appears to be built all of millipede parts. There's probably some legs and things in there from the millipedes, as well as the exoskeleton that didn't digest. Looks like there might be some fur in here, in that part of it. Okay, there's a, right here, there's a bone that you can see right between my fingers. I don't know if that's going to come out very well, because I'm doing this one-handed. I don't have a bunch of tools here to do this, so kind of filming it live, but you can see there's a bone right here. Maybe if I break it right on that segment, you can see the bone. But that's probably from a small rodent. I can't tell which one, but you can tell that it's a bone stuck right there. And there are more millipede parts in this section of the scat as well. When you're breaking apart things like pellets, you can soak them in water to help them fall apart easier. These are super dry. They've been out in the sun, so it's probably not the best way to do it, but I'm just doing this live as a really quick demonstration to give you a rough idea of the diet items that are in a fox's scat. Foxes digest their prey a little bit better than owls do, so you may not find complete skulls like you find in owl pellets, and that's because the owls swallow their prey whole, so all of the bones will be in it. Foxes, they can chew things up, so they may not swallow all the parts of their prey. I don't know that I can get that particular bone out of there well. But it looks like a lot of millipede parts, a little bit of fur, some bones that didn't separate very well. Let me try to separate it and see if I can pull that out. So right here is a part of a beetle that the fox ate. I'm not sure what that is right there. Oh, that's another part of a millipede right there. Okay, over here is some fur that came out of the scat. So we know that this fox ate a mammal. There's that bone, which is super tiny, and I can't pick it up because I'm wearing gloves and my hands aren't sensitive enough. And most of this scat is made out of those parts of the millipede. So the fox is an omnivore. The fox is able to eat meat and prey animals that have fur, and bones, and also insects and other invertebrates like beetles and millipedes, and foxes can also eat fruit and vegetarian type stuff. So a fox is an omnivore, and in this scat we can see several of those indications because it's eaten two different types of creatures, and those showed up right here in what was left. So you can do this activity with dried up scats like this. This one sat in the sun long enough that it was easy to break apart, and I deliberately left it for that reason. Or you can do it with owl pellets, and owl pellets are kind of cool because they're already fairly dry. But you can soak them, and it helps to break apart the pieces and get the fur and stuff out of it, and then you can pull all the bones out and examine the bones and determine what prey animal the owl ate. So this was just an analysis of a gray fox scat to show you the contents and how that indicates the diet. And as a tracker, that helps you because it tells you where this animal has been hanging out. So wherever it has been, there are millipedes, and there are also rodents. I think this is a rodent, either a vole or a mouse possibly, that the foxes have been eating. So there you go, analyzing the diet through the scat. And nowadays they have DNA to do some of this type of stuff. So if a scientist wanted to know what prey animal this was, and if you weren't able to identify the fur under a microscope, you could take some of this and submit it for DNA and see if the prey animal could be determined by DNA. So that's another way that scat is used to study wildlife. Hope you enjoy.